Hello everyone and welcome to race 4 of the P2 League here at the Paul Ricard Circuit in France. Clayfunk continues to lead the championship, and with the Williams, the Mercedes and the Renaults all competing at the top of the constructors. Let's take a closer look at the circuit. This 3.6 mile track featuring 2 DRS zones and 15 corners. Let's get down to qualifying. Cicuit's out first. Let's follow along with him for the lap. Into turn 1. Into turn 2. Curving straight. Small brake into turn 3. Hard brake into turn 4. Hard brake again into turn 5. Try and drag the car around as much as you can. Turn 6. Getting on the power. Fast. Don't let off into turn 7. Into the long first DRS straight. Hard braking into turns 8 and 9 in the chicane. The north chicane. Get on the power again. Into the extended end of the straight. Out wide. Full speed round turn 10. Braking while inside turn 11. It's a long and winding corner. Cutting the inside edge right at the end. Hard braking all the way around along turn 12. Into turn 13. Full throttle. Into turn 14. Hard braking into the final turn at turn 15. Straighten up the car. Over the DRS line. And straight down towards the start-finish line. We'll follow with Cheeky Chappie as he goes into his first flying lap. He's out on the mediums. Having had 2 very successful races after a disappointment in race 1. Will be looking to push his way furthest to the top of the championship. Little bit of wide out of turn 4 there. On the throttle, getting as much traction as you can before you turn into turn 7. Giving you as much speed as you can down this very, very long straight. Trying to brake as late as possible into the chicane. Back into the next straight. We should be looking for somewhere around a 129. Low 129 for the pole position in this race. Possibly a high 128. As you come into sector 3 now, let's see where he's going to finish up. 2 turns left to go. Avoid the pit lane entry. Final turn, straighten the car up. Get the power down. With a 130.5 on the mediums is our first lap on the track. Now. Also coming over the line in a second will be Jern. Or Callum, sorry. Comes with a 132.4 and a 132.2 for Pix Ruffy. And a 129.5 for Mark Nasty puts him in P1. Wondering me who's coming at the end of his lap. Straightens up the car. This looks quick. A 129.4 takes P1. So let's go up and have a look at Jern, who's coming into the final turn here. Straightens up the car. It'll be interesting to see who goes for the medium and who goes for the soft strategy on this. The 130.8 pops himself up into P4. Now let's go out to Marinarat, who's also on his final sector 3 on his fast lap. It's looking like a pretty tidy lap so far. 9. 131.4 has Madness, who's in as a reserve today. He's coming into the final couple of turns. Coming in the absolute last minute with 133.3. Stepping in at the last moment on this. Okay, now let's have a look down the order. Anybody else looking like they're actually out on a hot lap? No, Doug is out on his out lap right now. Everyone else should be coming into the pits. SOS Brothers is coming into a second, has just come out to a second lap. Let's go with Doug Vickers and follow him around the lap while everybody else is either on out laps or in laps. With 10.5 minutes left in this session right now, just looking at the order, Wondering Me holds pole. Mark Nasty creating a Racing Point lockout at the moment on the front row with a 129.5. Clayfunk and Cheeky Chappie holding up for Williams in the second row of the grid with 135s each, only 0.005 of a second apart. Jern for Renault in P5, the Brothers 2000 in P6, Marinat P7, King Psycho Panda P8, Pix P9, Callum P10. Doug comes out of the chicane onto the long back straight here. Weather is absolutely beaming it down today. Interesting to see what the weather conditions will be in the race tomorrow. But the heat was absolutely swarming off the track right there. Now after this, Jordan will also be out on a fast lap. So we'll move over to Jordan momentarily. Doug makes a 135.4, popping himself up into P13. Right, let's have a look at Jordan now. As he comes around turn 6, straightens out the car, gets on the power into turn 7. Getting as much speed as he can down into the DRS straight. Jordan looking to improve on what's been a horrific couple of early races. Yet to get off the mark yet. In fact, yet to finish a race. As he approaches the last couple of corners. Up to turn 14, round turn 14. Hard brake turn 15, into the home straight. Tidy lap. He's also out in the mediums. Fastest medium at the moment is a 135. He's at a 136, pops himself up into P5. Very impressive lap. Okay, let's go up with Wondering Me, the current pit pole sitter. He turns into turn 3, turn 4. Edging around turn 5. Turn 6. On that power, as much speed as you can get now. Turn 7. Yellow flags in sector 2 right now. As it looks like Doug has had an accident. Interesting to see what happened there. Wondering Email comes into sector 3. Casually up to turn 12. 13, full power. Swinging out wide into turn 14, heavily on the brakes. Again, heavily on the brakes into turn 15. Straightens out the car. Comes into the home straight. This is a very tidy looking lap. With a 129.3, increases his lead at the top. The winner from Bahrain, having missed the last race. Looking to try and go for his second win in a row. Definitely puts himself in a big advantage. There's Mark Nasty, who's coming up to the start of Sector 3. Or is it halfway through Sector 3 even? Sorry, misread the track. Coming up to turn 14. Final turn. Glorious view of the stands there. Not the tidiest of approaches, but still fast. A 129.7 doesn't improve on his time. SOS Brothers out on a hot lap, so let's follow along with him. We've got 3 minutes left in this session. He's just set a purple Sector 1 by 0.6 faster than his previous time. SOS Brothers, who had a fantastic race last time out, qualifying in P1. Didn't quite manage to convert that into a win. Approaches the chicane. Getting as much speed as you can out of it so you can really attack the second back straight. With 3 minutes to go, we've got Wondering Me in P1, Mark Nasty in P2, The Brothers 2000 P3, Clayfunk 4, Cheeky Chappie 5, Jordan Hassel 6, Jern 7, SOS Brothers 8, Marinat 9 and Callan 10. Pretty even match of soft and medium runners in that top 10. 5 and 5. It's going to make for a very interesting race, although the track seems to be getting a lot darker right now, presuming there's a lot of cloud coming over. Are we going to see rain just come right at the end of this session? Oh, bit scrappy out the last turn there. Got a little bit of a oversteer. Comes through. Hits himself onto P3 with a 129.7. Could have even improved further. I think he lost a little time in Sector 3 there. Still a very good time. Puts himself up with the rest of the soft runners. And we've currently only got the Brothers 2000 out on an out lap. Everyone else is in the pits with only 1 minute and 50 seconds. So if they want to make another pit start, another qualifying lap, don't see anybody leaving. So let's follow along with the Brothers 2000 as he's going to be coming up to the end of his out lap. Okay, here we go. And he comes down the home straight to start his final fast lap. He'll be the only guy left out on track. In which case, let's race on board with him. Through turn 1 into turn 2. Little bit scruffy out of turn 2. Fastest medium runner right now. Turn 3, turn 4. Turn 5. Rain has started coming down here. Is this going to make it impossible for him to actually break the previous times? We'll find out in a second as he hits the end of Sector 2 at the end of the second straight. As he comes into the North Chicane. Later braking as physically possible. Oh, that was very close to the limit there. Absolutely maxing out the car. Let's see when he hits the end of Sector 2. Is he improving on his time? He's 0.3 down on his time. Rolling up to turn 12. Full power on in turn 13. Hard braking into 14. Into 15 for the final time. little better than it was before, I reckon, but I don't know. Has he had a good sector 3? Probably not. No, he's 0.7 of a second down. And that'll be the end of qualifying. Right, so we've got Wondering Me first, Mark Nasty second, SOS Brothers third, The Brothers 2004, Clayfunk 5, Cheeky Chappie 6. I'll run through the full order as we go around the formation lap. As we arrive at race day here in France, we have a front row lockout from the racing points. Who, if we can bring home big points here, could bring them straight back into the championship up with the other 3 teams at the front. The weather looks like it's going to hold out, so we should be in line for a dry race. So let's see how it goes. We'll get down for the formation lap. Oh dear. Right, okay, so let's just run down the order. Wondering Me in P1. Mark Nasty P2. SOS Brothers P3. In 4th we've got The Brothers 2000. Don't confuse the two. In 5th we've got Clayfunk. In 6th we've got Cheeky Chappie with a Williams 3rd row lockout. 7th we've got Jordan Hassel. 8th we've got Jern. 9th we've got Marinat. 10th we've got Callum. 11th we've got King Psycho Panda. 12th we've got Pix Ruffy with 13th Cuz Madness, 14th Doug Vickers, 15th The Imperial, and 16th Jay Wizzy. Instant will have to be looked into between Panda and Cuz Madness as to why I haven't finished the formation lap. The weather looking like it's going to be a clear race. It'll be interesting to see if it's like qualifying where we do get some rain later on. No signs right now, but in the south of France things can change in a minute. As Wondering Me now approaches the grid again. That Racing Point front row lockout. The first in the team's short but exciting history. The Pink Mercs looking to really put themselves in it with the Constructors' Championship. As they're all lining up now. Here we go. And they're off. Mark Nasty looks like he's taken the lead from Wondering Me going into turn 1, but Wondering... Oh no, they've hit each other! Oh, be very careful, boys. SOS Brothers in P3. Clayfunk moves up to P4. Marinat's moved himself up to P8. Panda's dropped all the way down to P16. Don't know what's happened to him there. Let's just have a look as we come down to the chicane here. Wondering Me about 0.3 of a second in front of Mark Nasty. Hopefully there was no damage caused in that altercation. Looking at the front of both their cars, they seem okay. Looks like it was just a little love tap. SOS Brothers already starting to pull out a bit of a gap on Clayfunk, although Clayfunk seems to be bringing that back now. Cicuit has a little bit of a gap between himself and the brothers, but he's also regained that gap. But the first real gap starts to develop around P9, where Marinat is about a second and a half off of Jern. The Imperial's just been taken by Panda, so Panda's now up to P15. But a horrible start for Panda. The only guy here starting on hards. Possibly trying a one-stop strategy. Everyone else should be, realistically here, looking at a two-stop. Although the medium runners could try for a one-stop strategy, although that's a very risky idea. As the brothers has overtaken Marky, but Marky is about to reclaim that place. Is he on the straight? Nope, it looks to me like SOS Brothers is going to hold place. Let's dip down and take a look at the P2's position. And the Mark Nasty has got the Brothers 2000 right behind him. Let's go with Mark Nasty and hold his position. There seems to be quite a bit of action going on around there right now. As we're approaching the halfway point in lap 2. Clayfunk has just overtaken the Brothers 2000 there, just in the background. The Brothers must have had a pretty awful turn 3, 4, 5 combo. Let's take a look at the running order. Wandering Me in P1, SOS Brothers P2, Mark Nasty P3, Clayfunk 4, the Brothers 2005, Cheeky Chappie 6, Jordan 7, Jern 8, Marinat 9, Jay Wizzy 10. Oh, and Marky's had a spin. He's hit himself into the wall. Let's go up to the Brothers here. He's right on the back of Clay. Clay had taken him, but looks like the Brothers going to get him. But oh, a little bit of a knock between the two there. Very tight racing. Who's going to come out of this corner? And Cheeky Chappie's right behind them. Jordan's right, and Jern has overtaken Jordan, and he's right behind them. Big changes going on here right now. Clay, World Championship leader, pops himself up into P3. And Mark Nasty's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That was a horrible, horrible lap 2 for Mr. Nasty. Jordan has just overtaken Jern again. They've just transitioned positions again. Glorious view of the back straight there. Has he got the running him into the chicane? Oh, a little bit of a touch. There's a lot of aggression going on here right now. The heat clearly getting to the drivers. Clayfunk got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. But this is where the real battle is. Wandering Me is now a second clear of the SOS Brothers, who are now 3 seconds above the Brothers 2000. So the front two really pulling away from the pack right now. We're going to start to see some pit stops start to happen, though, as these softs in this heat are not going to last very long. They are the softest possible compound of tyre in this race. Tyre wear is going to be a much bigger issue in this race than we've had in any race. And possibly Singapore being as heavy on the tyres. But this one is really a tyre critical race. Jordan took a look there. He's moved ahead of Clayfunk. As you can see in the background there. Clayfunk drops down to 6th. He had a horrible exit out turn 1. Alright, let's switch to Clay. He's got Jay Wizzy right behind him now. On the DRS strip. Really hard push there by Jay. Is he going to catch him at the chicane? He's ahead. Clean overtake. Jay Wizzy puts himself up in P7. That was a horrible lap for Clay, the current championship leader. Is he going to have a chance back at him? Probably not. He's too nipping at the heels, but not quite got the pace down the second straight. And this is only lap 4, gentlemen. More overtakes than the real thing in this race. So let's follow up with these guys. This is the battle for P3. Oh, and Jordan's clipped him. He's probably pushed in a little hard on that corner. And that's really going to screw up his straight. Although he managed to stay ahead and overtake the brothers. SOS Brothers picks up a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. If we step back now down looking down at the brothers, is he actually able to pull this back and get some time into Jern in front? No, he's had to cut the corner again. He must have damage, surely. That's 2 penalties in the last lap. That's 6 seconds he's just managed to take. He's got Cheeky Chappie on the back of him now, and Cheeky's really pushing. But Cheeky's dropped off quite a bit. Not certain quite what happened there going around turn 7, but he's lost a lot of time. Whereas you can see Jern there, he's going to be very close to the back of the thing. Clayfunk has just overtaken Jay, so he's reclaimed his position. But this is where the battle is right now between P5 and P8. Everyone within about a second and a half of each other. But Jordan having a fantastic race, sitting up there in P3 and P4 respectively. Cheeky Chappie just overtakes the brothers there. Gets the DRS run on him. As you can see just in the front off the edge of our screen. But everybody in this battle so close. Now, has he got the run back on him? No, he hasn't. Some real battling going on down here. Oh no, he's going into the pits. That's why. Let's see where he comes out. Confusing angle for me there, my apologies. It looked like he'd flown off the track. It's hard to follow with the blue lines everywhere on the Paul Ricard circuit. It makes everything meld into one sometimes. Currently P9, he's going to have P10, P11. But there's a big gap between P11 and P12, so he's probably going to slot himself out now in P11. In the meantime, we're going to put ourselves back in the shoes of Clay and go back to Clay and Wood J for a second. And Wondering Me's in the pits, so we're going to follow along with Wondering Me and see where he comes out. The race leader is in the pits. And Jordan Hassel has just taken the lead in the race. I don't know what happened to SOS Brothers. Maybe he's had a spin. He definitely hasn't come in the pits. But he lost a lot of time that lap. Wondering Me pops out in P8, just ahead of Pix Ruffy by about 4 seconds. He's about 6 seconds down on P7 Marinat, but all the guys except for SOS Brothers are going to have to pit. So let's just roll up with Jern and SOS Brothers and see if we can work out what's happened here. Maybe it's just those softs have just not lasted. I mean, you know, 6 laps really was the kind of maximum you want to be doing on them. 7 laps is a real risk. And Jern's smelling blood behind, and he's also now got Cheeky Chappie right on his back. Jay is ahead of Clayfunk now in P5. Jern is ahead of SOS Brothers. Oh, and SOS Brothers goes wide, picks up another 3-second warning. The warnings are really going to have affected some of the front runners. But I think it's those tyres have gone down. We're going to stay with the front 3 here. We've got Jordan P1, Jern P2, Cheeky P3. It'll be interesting to see where they slot in after their pit stop. As Wondering Me is out after a pit stop in P8. SOS Brothers goes into the pits, as does Jordan Hassel, the race leader. No advantage to be gained through DRS there, although these two are going to be absolutely battling at the front. Jordan's gone to how hards. Let's have a look. Where do those guys come out of the pits? Clayfunk picks up another 3-second penalty there. Switching quickly to Cheeky Chappie. As we follow him chasing down Jern. Jordan Hassel's come out 7th. SOS Brothers has come out 8th. But interestingly, Jordan Hassel is 7 seconds down on Wondering Me. Wondering Me right now absolutely eating time out of Marinat in P5. Psycho Panda picks up a 3-second penalty. And but at the same time, he's just overtaken Doug Vickers. So puts himself up into P12. As we approach the third of the way through the race. We've got Jern P1, Cheeky Chappie P2, Jay Wizzy P3, Clay 4th, Marinat 5, Wondering Me 6th, Jordan Hassel 7, SOS Brother 8, The Brothers 2009, Pix Ruffy 10. But SOS Brothers going out for 2 softs runs, so he's on a very different strategy to everybody else. But, and here's the point, SOS Brothers really needs to make these laps count. Oh, hello, and Cheeky overtakes Jern. Around turn 6, not a usual overtaking spot. I wonder if the mediums are starting to give way. Jern coming back at him on the DRS straight. Doesn't quite have the pace to catch him. So Cheeky Chappie from 3rd row of the grid now leading the race. At least momentarily. But you'd have to fancy the Wondering Me will reclaim that first place position once he comes back out. Cuz Madness is now in the pits too. Which now puts him down to the back of the order. Jern really pushing the back of Cheeky Chappie. Not happy to have lost that position. Clearly still has some confidence in the tyres. But right behind them is Jay Wizzy, who is smelling blood. Now it'll be interesting to see, does anybody go into the pits on this lap? Going to drop down quickly to P7. As we take a look, Jordan Hassel goes wide and the SOS Brothers overtakes him to retake P7 and track position over Jordan. But there's a very big difference in tyre strategies, so that's not a battle that's over by a long shot. But you would imagine on soft tyres now, the SOS Brothers will start to pull away quite rapidly. Marinarat is in the pits in front of them, so they're going to gain up a position on him. Jordan Hassel with the DRS though. Is he going to get back in front of him before the turn 1? Ooh. He does. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Pix Ruffy. But SOS Brothers retakes it into turn 2. Sorry, yes, SOS Brothers, sorry, retakes him into turn 2. And Jordan's gone very wide there. And he's also dropped behind the Brothers 2000, who's creeped in and taken a place there. Marinarat pops back out in P13 and Pix is going to pop out with looking like in P15. As we follow along here with Jern in P2. Who's still within the DRS range of Cheeky Chappie, with Jay Wizzy just behind him by about half a second. But here we go, into the pits comes the race leader Cheeky Chappie. Let's follow along with him and see where he comes out. And Jay Wizzy has just overtaken Jern on the home straight, which puts him into basically provisional P1. Oh no, Jern, sorry, has gone into the pit. I apologise. Jern's in the pit. Cheeky Chappie is actually out in the race. My bad. The heat is getting to me in this room. So now Jay is free to attack Cheeky Chappie in P1. Jern here comes out. Is he going to come out in front or behind Jordan? Comes out behind Jordan in P8. You'd have to imagine on fresher tyres he's going to be giving a real hunt on for these positions. If he can get these tyres warm quickly, he could be right on him at the DRS straight. Jordan has made some mistakes, so he'll have some dusty tyres. Not quite got things. King Psycho Panda moves himself up now to P9, having overtaken Mark Nasty, who's down in P10. But Mark Nasty himself doing quite well, putting himself back up into the top 10, having had such a horrific lap 2. But there doesn't seem to be any closing down going on here from Jern. These four here back again in the battle that they were in earlier. There's a big gap behind them to P9, to King Psycho Panda at 23 seconds. Let's go and see where these guys come out. Slick stop there for Cheeky. He's got Jay just behind him. Now, where do these guys come out? Oh my god, this battle's going to be intense. They come out in P7 and P8 respectively. And this is where the big battle is. The battle from P3 all the way down to P8. 6 cars all within about 3 seconds of each other. But just looking down here, Mark Nasty on the home straight. Overtakes King Psycho Panda. Reclaim P9. Clayfunk picks up another 3-second time penalty from Scruffy driving out there today. Panda still though uber close. Now let's see, can Panda push back in? Unfortunately, we're not getting correct tyre data for Panda, so I don't know how many laps his tyres have done. I think he went in quite early, so I think he might have done somewhere in the region of about 10 already, but I could be wrong. He retakes the position from Mark Nasty. This battle could be going for the rest of the race, I think. They're on very similar strategies now due to both having bad starts. Mark tries to take the inside line. Around turn 11. Does. He retakes the position. So this is still a wide open race. Wondering Me, SOS Brothers, the Brothers 2000 will all need to pit again. Jordan, I think, will have to pit again. He might try and hold it out, but he'll be on some very worn tyres. Anything beyond around 14 to 15 laps on these hards is a cliff edge. Oh, hello, and there's collision! Oh no! The Brothers spins, hits into Cheeky Chappy. Well, they just lost control there. That puts them down position. Jay now up into 15th. Jern up into 4th. Cheeky's now going into the pits as he's damaged his wing, which is a shame. It's going to add an extra pit stop to his race. But that's unleashed Jay Wizzy now to start tracking down on Jern. Awful, awful luck there. Considerably fresher tyres. He's doing a 12 lap stint on the mediums, which is possible. Probably the best option he had available to him at that point. So Cheeky Chappy pops himself back into the points now in P10. We're going to start looking out now to see if we see any fast laps dropping over the next few laps. Where is he going to come out? Smooth stop. There's also a Ferrari of the Brothers 2000 coming in for their final stops. The SOS Brothers out on mediums. The Brothers 2000 going out on hards by the look of things. The SOS Brothers is going to pop himself out in P6. We have Mark Nasty coming there in the background, who's also going to take the Brothers 2000. So Mark Nasty puts himself up into P7. But Mark probably, well, definitely has to pit one more time. King Panda, Psycho Panda, who's now on the back of Pix Ruffy, who's on considerably newer tyres. I have a feeling Pix has probably overtaken him. Marina Rat picks up another 3-second penalty. I don't think there's enough pace in those 17 lap old mediums, which just isn't right. They aren't 17 lap old mediums. They're only a couple of lap old mediums. I'm getting incorrect tyre data for King Psycho Panda's Alpha Tauri there. Now, has he got a better run on him onto this? He's got a good run coming through. Cheeky chap, he's also on the back of Marinarat as well. Is he going to have the pace down this straight? Plenty of overtake button. Plenty of DRS. Is he going to make it to the corner in time? He does. He just makes it through in time. King Psycho Panda up to P13. Follow along with Jordan as he's coming out of the pits. See where he positions himself. Pix roughly's actually retaken that position from King Psycho Panda, but I have a feeling that's going to switch back in a moment. Jordan brings himself out in P6. It's a massive improvement right now on his previous 3 races where he failed to finish, so if his aim was to get points, he's doing an excellent job so far. Cheeky chap, who sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:33.2. The Imperial is now overtaking Callum as Callum is in the pits. King Psycho Panda and Pix Ruffy, who are fighting over P12 as they overtake Callum in the pits. Looking down this order, if I'm getting the correct tyre data, potentially only Mark Nasty and the Imperial need to pit again. Everybody else now should be on their final stint. Well, no, correction. Wondering Me in the lead may need to pit again because he's now on 10 laps on his mediums with just under 10 laps left to go. So potentially 3 more pit stops. If Wondering Me has to do a pit and goes on to softs, this could really make it an exciting race. And in comes Wondering Me now for his final stop. The Brothers 2000 picks up a 3-second penalty, as does Clayfunk. It's going to be interesting to see at the end of the race how many switches there are in position due to these penalties, because I've lost count. Remember, after this race we've got the P1s. Slightly faster racing. So let's have a look now. Wondering Me, he's in 3rd now, 4th, but he's on softs, doing a 8-lap stint on softs. Comes out in P4. Now the softs do not last very long on this track. So, can he catch up the 3 drivers in front on hards? He's about 7.5 seconds away from Jern in P1. Jern, who's been a very patient yet paying off race. Jay Wizzy just behind him in P2. Clayfunk P3. Perseverance has been the order of the day. Mark Nasty has the brothers right behind him. Let's have a look at the brothers now as he comes down the second back straight, approaching turn 10. Beautiful shot we get there of turn 11. If you like your winding corners, Sector 3 of this track is up there at the best of them. And Mark's going into the pits by the look of things for his final stop. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out. Wondering Me, though, is right on the back of Clayfunk, who's within his DRS zones. Down the DRS straight. Has he got the speed? Easily has the speed. Puts himself up into P3. He's now got 2 drivers in front of him. And 8 seconds between him and P1. With 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. 6 laps to go. 6.5 laps to go. As he enters Sector 3 of lap 21. Has he made the wrong strategy? This could be very close. He needs to be pulling out around 1 second to 1.5 seconds every lap. It's possible, but he's going to have to be conserving those softs when it comes to about the end of lap 6. But he's pulled out a massive chunk of time ever since he's overtaken Clay. He's already 1.5 seconds in front of him. And Mark Nasty's only just behind them. This final championship point could be really interesting. Mark is on the softs too. Looking to claw back something after what was a fantastic qualifying session in P2. Getting him his best position for the year. Overtakes the Imperial there cleanly and easily. Now, is he going to get him on the DRS straight and make this a great lap? He doesn't even need to do it before the DRS straight. So he gets the DRS advantage and he's already made the overtake. He'll be very clear of the two cars behind by the time he's made it through this section. Yellow flags in Sector 3. All 16 drivers, though, still currently racing. Real race right now is following Wondering Me, as he's 2.5 seconds now behind Jay Wizzy, and Jay Wizzy is not making any time on Jern, despite having slightly fresher hards. Is Wondering Me going to be able to make this? He's now 2.2 seconds out. With 4 laps to go, we've got Jern P1, Jay Wizzy P2, Wondering Me P3. Everyone else seems to have a fairly even set of gaps at the time being. Cuz Madness picks up a 3-second time penalty. Stepping in last minute for Adidas, who's had an overheating issue with his PlayStation. Here we go. Look at that. 1, 2 and 3 going down that long back DRS straight. Wondering Me now 1.3 seconds behind. With 3.5 laps of this track to go. Marinarak picks up another 3-second penalty. But I will say one thing. I think Wondering Me has been very tidy so far. So I think he's got an advantage on penalties. Although I could be wrong. I think Psycho Panda goes in for a last minute pit stop. Not quite certain of the purpose of doing it, as the position he's in probably means he won't be able to qualify for a fastest lap. Here we go. Now he's in the DRS. He's 0.7 of a second behind. Wondering Me chasing down Jay Wizzy. You have to imagine when it comes down to it, there's going to be very little that he can do. But, and here's the thing, those soft tyres are now 5 laps old. And that is where they start to really struggle in this track. We've had no cooling down of the circuit. As the softs here are essentially the old Ultra Softs. From a few seasons back, the purple ring tyres. Oh! And someone's come off. That looks like that was Cuz Madness who's come off. Luckily keeping out of the way of the other drivers. Cheeky Chappy picks up a 3-second penalty. Oh, there's a little knock there, I think. And there he goes, past him into P2. Now, he's going to have 2 laps to basically try and catch the 2-second lead and overtake Jern, who's on old hards at this particular point. This has been, if this works out, this will have been, in my opinion, a recovery, because I actually think Wondering Me's strategy wasn't fantastic, but his racing has been very strong. He's now 1.5 seconds behind Jern as we cross the line with 2 seconds left to go. Jay's still in the DRS of Wondering Me. The one thing that he could hope for is a comeback here past him, but he hasn't got enough. So now he needs to stay within that DRS zone till the next DRS straight. But Wondering Me is now within DRS of Jern. It ain't over till it's over, people. Lap 26 to 27. Wondering Me in P2, tracking down Jern in P1. He's in within the DRS. He's 0.2 of a second behind him. Is he going to catch him by the chicane? No. Jern lives to fight another day. But he's going to have to get this next couple of bits absolutely nailed in order to stay in front of him. Wondering, he has so much more traction coming out of that corner, but Jern holds on. As we go into turn 10, flat out still, Wondering me coming up the inside, hasn't got it going into turn 11. Jern takes the wide line round the outside, which will give him a little more momentum coming down as we hit into turn 12. So he holds on momentarily with just over 1 lap to go into turn 13. Jay Wizzy still just behind both of them. And Pix Ruffy has DNF'd in P15. Not certain what's happened there. And wow, with these 3 guys, we're now in the last lap. Is Jern going to hold out? Is Wondering Me going to catch him? Jern trying to pull out every trick in the book. Wondering Me up the inside. He's got him. Looks like it's going to have paid off. Has he got the right line to stay out of it? Jay right on the back of Jern too. Jern takes a wider line there, trying to keep the speed and the momentum coming in. He's got the speed, but he just can't get the gap around the outside of him. Oh, and there was contact. Looks like Jern's just knocked off his front parts of his front wing, which puts Jay Wizzy up into second. Well, that will be a very disappointing moment for the Renault team. So close. You can't blame the guy for trying. As we come up to the final few corners now. Into the home straight. Wondering me cross the line. Jay Wizzy second. Jern overtakes him though on penalties. Let's move down, take a look. Clay crosses the line, P4. Is he going to stay in P4? As we wait for the brothers to come over the edge. The brothers moves up to P4. Jordan now crosses the line. So Clayfunk 5, Jordan, is he 6th? Let's have a look. The Brothers 2000 coming over the finish line. In P7. Cheeky Chappy crossed the line, P8. Well recovered, Cheeky. Marinarat coming across to finish. In P9. Mark Nasty with a massive recovery. Picks up, moves all the way up to P8. So Cheeky Chappy down to P9. Well recovered Mark Nasty after lap 2, which could have been known as one of the most nightmare laps for any driver. Very well done. Imperial now crosses the line. Cuz Madness in P14. Callum crosses the line. But Psycho Panda takes him on penalties, so P12 for Psycho Panda, 13 for Callum. And it's coming into the home straight now as our last driver, Doug Vickers. Well driven. Congratulations, everybody. Good racing. We'll just wait a minute and we'll give you the full classified results. But Wondering Me will have put himself right up the top of the Drivers' Championship. I'm not certain whether he'll actually be top. But with 2 wins out of 4 races, being the first driver to win 2 races in the P2 League this season, he's putting himself in as a strong contender to win. So let's have a look at the classified results. Wondering Me takes down the win. Jern 2nd, Jay 3rd, SOS Brothers 4th, making a 3-4 for Mercedes. Clayfunk 5th, Jordan Hassel 6th, the Brothers 2000 7th, Mark Nasty in 8th, Cheeky Chappy 9th, Marinarat picking up the last point in 10th, with the Imperial, Psycho Panda and Callum all finishing within the lap but over a minute behind. And Cuz Madness, Doug Vickers and Pix Ruffy all over a lap behind. Mark Nasty also picks up the fastest lap with a 1:32.008. Having a look at the Drivers' Championship, Clayfunk still holds out in first with 53 points. Wondering Me jumps up to second place with 50 points. SOS Brothers in third with 49 points. And then fourth, tied, we have Jay Wizzy and Jern. In sixth, we have Lettle. And in seventh, we have Cheeky Chappy. Jordan Hassel also getting himself off the mark brings McLaren higher up. And let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes are now in first with 94 points. Williams take up second place now with 88 points. Renault third with 83 points. Racing Point fourth with 70 points. Ferrari in fifth with 38 points. AlphaTauri in sixth with 15 points. And in joint last place we have Red Bull and McLaren. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. This time we're off to the shores of Canada, to the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve for race 5 of the P2 League. Join us then.